Hi there. I would like to take a moment at the beginning of this video, as I've been doing over my last, oh God, how many videos, by acknowledging, yes, you are right. Constructively speaking, I can improve the camera system and get a better one. I have other priorities that matter to me more than making sure that thing is not an unblurry piece of shit. You can comment on it being a piece of shit, but I needed to get that out of the way because I'm already aware of it. So go ahead, point it out. What can I do about it? One commenter in particular did suggest that I wipe the damn thing down because it was filthy. I did that and cleaned it, and it still is shit. Something's wrong with the goddamn hardware itself right now. It's deeper than just it being obscured by dirt and everything else. So you're just going to have to cope. I can't really just run off and buy a camera, but fortunately my store is getting new inventory. Yay. I wanted to start this video off as just a big thing because I've been reflecting on a matter, and it's really been gnawing at me for a while now. I came across an article in Psychology Today that really kind of changed my life in a good way and in a powerful good way, in terms of relationships. And I felt that, it was worthy of a drop, in here, and just a shout out to these guys for having put this one together. But it's been driving me crazy for some time now because I feel rather unheard in what I've been trying to point out. Uh, why is this the dead link? Jesus Christ! Like, hold on, I'm trying to pull it up because it's just erroring out on me and on my page, which apparently didn't manage to grab all the relevant details. But it says why you shouldn't believe in soulmates, and it managed to really convince me, of this position, and it really sold me on it. And I finally got around to it, and I realized that this is all just bullshit. Do you believe in soulmates? Do you hold the idea that there's one person or just a few who is uniquely compatible with you? Do you feel that the right relationship should just work out with both of you loving each other as easily as you are? If so, you're definitely not alone. In fact, according to January 2011 Marist poll, 73% of Americans believe that they are destined to find their one true soulmate. I now, like, I'm not reading from the article, believe that belief in soulmates is just a form of nothing other than self sabotage. Holding on to the belief, clinging to it, is self sabotage. The percentage is a bit higher for men than for women, with men at 74% and women at 71. The notion is higher among younger individuals, with 79 of those under 45 believing in soulmates, as opposing to 69% of those over 45. Clearly, the belief in soulmates is pervasive. The majority of people hold tight to the idea of romantic destiny. The question remains, however, whether the belief ends up working out. Do people who look for a soulmate often find them? Do soulmates live happily after? Fortunately, more often. Fortunately, research has the answer. Research by Nee in 1998 evaluated the impact of belief in romantic destiny on the quality of actual relationships. More particularly, he compared the relationships of people who believed in soulmates, e.e., people that were not that are meant for each other or not, with those who believed in relationship growth, a belief that relationships are developed with work over time. Results of his evaluation indicated, and this is devastating, people who believe in romantic destiny, soulmates, primarily look for positive emotional reactions and initial compatibility with a partner. They believe that people either click and are meant to be, or they don't and should move on. As a result, these beliefs drive soulmate searchers to be intensely passionate and satisfied with partners at first, particularly when things are compatible. However, when problems inevitably arise, as they always do, by the way, Believers in soulmates don't tend to cope well and leave the relationship instead. In other words, a belief in soulmates should be ideally compatible, motivates individuals to just give up when a relationship isn't perfect. They simply look elsewhere for their quote true unquote match. As a result, their relationships tend to be more intense but short, and often with a higher number of quick romances and one night stands. What you should realize is that if you've ever heard somebody described as changing in and out of relationships like they do pairs of socks, these will be your soulmate searchers. Those are the ones that are looking for theirs. They think that there's one that's going to satisfy, them. Now, contrast that with the other group, which I find myself to be with the minority on. People who believe in romantic growth, cultivation, which is what I believe, primarily look for someone who will work and grow with them, resolving conflicts as they arise. They believe relationships can evolve with hard work and compromise, even in difficult situations. As a result, they tend to be less passionate and satisfied with partners at first. A romantic growth individual doesn't have the same intense euphoric response to partner connections. However, when problems arise, they are motivated to solve them and stay committed to their partner. As a result, their relationships tend to be longer and more satisfying over time. Rather than rejecting a partner for minor disagreements, they work together to evolve and grow a satisfying relationship. And, this article really kind of spoke to the heart of all of it. It's what my concerns are now. I came across the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset, and I came to realize that if you believe that it's either meant to be or it isn't, then you're coming at everything from a fixed mindset in relationships. There's no improving, there's no growing. How is this even remotely romantic either? I mean, if at the end of the day it's completely meant to be, there's no point in putting effort in. That's pointless because it's just going to fall into your lap without any effort on your part. Perfection doesn't exist. Literally, all of the humans on this planet have one thing in common. Every single one of them is imperfect. So, perfection, it doesn't exist. So, like, people, they try to just to square it in anyways by saying, well, there's got to be somebody that's perfect, but perfect for me in particular, like cut from clay. And I don't think that either. I'm at the point where it's like what all there really is hard work. Relationships are hard work, and they're meant to be in the first place. Like, you grow with someone. Subsequent research into this, supports these differences. Particularly those who believe in soulmates tend to be less committed to a partner, particularly when there are relationship difficulties. Patrick Vietor, Neighbors in 2004 as a research paper. Also, soulmate believers are often more anxious in relationships and less likely to forgive romantic partners. Finkel, Burnett, and Scissors. Overall, when the going gets tough with a partner or requires work, soulmate dates tend to quit and look for the next perfect match. Given the research, if an individual wants intensely passionate, short-term flings, then belief in soulmates will serve them well. Finding those initial commonalities and connections will feel like magic. It will be an excellent emotional high, at least while the illusion of perfection lasts. In all relationships, however, disagreement, conflict, and incompatibility will arise. Ultimately, no one's perfect or even a perfect fit for a partner. It takes work, growth, and change to keep a relationship going and satisfying over time. When that happens, soulmate believers often become upset, disillusioned, and uncommitted. Therefore, if an individual finds that they were repeatedly falling in love with the quote perfect unquote partner, only to be disappointed and dumping them soon after, their belief in soulmates may be the cause to blame. It may cause them to give up when things are not perfect but are still good or great. It may motivate them not to compromise, work, or change when others don't love them completely for being exactly as they are. Ultimately, it may drive them to believe that life would be more satisfying with someone else if someone else, and endlessly look for a more compatible partner rather than looking to fit with and be satisfied by a very good one. In the end, it's a bit of a cruel joke. A belief in soulmates may be preventing individuals from finding the very relationships they think they are destined to have. Overall, the message is clear. Looking for perfect compatibility in a soulmate kills motivation to work at successful relationships with good partners. In the long run, adopting a belief in romantic growth and cultivation is much more rewarding, especially for those interested in long term relationships. However, compared to soulmates, a belief in growth does take more work, effort, and a desire to change. So, to have a truly satisfying relationship, an individual must not only give up on the search for a perfect partner, but also be willing to admit that they are not always just as perfect, just as they are as well. Only then can two people work together, grow, evolve, and meet each other's changes needs in the long run. And this is what has me at this point. It's this, you know, all these women that want to be, sex in the city, having, you know, tons and tons and tons of different men that in their lives that filter in and out, and they appear to have made their peace with this idea of having a bunch of intense short-term flings that inevitably fall apart when the person actually, turns out to be a human being with warts and flaws all along. Like, do you understand why I find all of this upsetting? It's the people who believe in this that have a positive attitude towards ghosting too. They think very highly of the idea, and that means that if there's anything that we could improve, we don't get that input. I have chosen voluntarily to give up my belief in twin flames and soulmates. I don't believe anymore. I believe that it is a catastrophic belief. I believe that it is self sabotaging and simply prevents me from getting what I want. Ultimately, no one's perfect, not even in the sense of being a perfect fit for somebody like me. It's going to take work no matter what. So, I just needed to come out and say that here on this corner of the internet because it's been bothering me for a while, and I think if you really think about it and you read Dweck's book and you start learning about the fixed mindset, you start realizing either it's meant to be or it isn't meant to be as a perfect expression of the fixed mindset. There's a great power in believing that you can improve.